everybody. Well, it's my birthday today. She's phoning me to wish me happy birthday. And she got me lovely card and lovely books and yeah, having a little quiet little chat. And good opportunity to record this conversation. But what I'm not sure I need to do, I think I've got to share the screen. How do I do it so that we share that we're both on it? Are we both on it now, Pammy?
Yes, up in the top right-hand corner.
Have I done it? No.
Pass. But I can see you and I can see me in the top right-hand corner.
I don't know. We've got to get this right before we get going here. Let's just see. How do I get us both on? I've forgotten.
I don't know. I haven't done that before.
If I do this, oh, I've forgotten. Pammy, no, don't. Let's lose our. No, we won't lose it because we both can talk for hours. Let's just see. If I, is it screen sharing or is it?
I don't know how to do it. There we go. There we go.
I did it. Don't know how I did it. Pammy, it's such a thrill to be with you today.
Coffee on the hop.
Well, you're just finishing your porridge with a glass of wine, is that right?
I am. It's been that kind of a day. Yes.
Yes. You got lost in the bus depot, did you?
I did, and worse. It was just all round a bit stressy, but anyway, still standing.
We're in the shadow of that Mercury retrograde, aren't we, Pammy?
Oh, still so much more to come. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So, I just thought, you know, it would be nice for us to maybe share some of the things that we're discussing, what we're seeing coming up over these next months, because some of the aspects look really intense and it looks as though we're getting more adversity, but at the same time, it looks as though there are some positive messages coming as well. Don't you think so, Pam? What's your feeling on this?
Yes, and I'm really, and Bracha and I were chatting beforehand, but you know, I'm really not going to be articulate with this because I've got stuff kind of rolling around my brain which hasn't yet emerged, but it's, you know, it seems that, yes, we are absolutely going through a crescendo of energy. I think, you know, you and I would both agree that, Bracha. I mean, look at the astrology, my goodness, it's extraordinary. So, you know, we're going through a crescendo of energy with many, many peaks within that we can clearly identify, and you and I do that in our videos. But it's like things are being kind of pushed to the limit in order to fully demolish the old building.
Yes.
That's my feeling, because if we didn't have that crescendo of energy, we could easily, or many people could easily slip back into, oh, well, maybe we could go back to semi-normal. You know, we could wear masks forever and go back to semi-normal. But, you know, you and I both know that that building has to be demolished. That's part of where we're headed. And so the push has to be greater, and the push is incredibly uncomfortable. We've got pneumatic drills going, we've got blokes in hard hats, we've got, you know, we've got a very messy building site. It's never fun to live in the rubble, and there's a lot more rubble to come. You know, we both know that. But I have a sense that there's something that, dare I say this as an astrologer, that almost goes beyond the astrology, that is energetic and possibly galactic, that is going to either overtake the astrology or raise the astrology to a completely different level.
I love this. Yeah.
And
love this. Yes.
Well, so, and because if we look down the timeline, I mean, the astrology for next year is still very challenging, isn't it? Saturn in Aquarius square Uranus, and that's still battles for our freedoms, and you know, that's very clear, isn't it? Tough autocratic governments and battles for freedom. But kind of energetically, for me, that's not fitting. How do you feel?
I love this, because what I think we're moving towards right now with the squares with the Capricorn planets to the Mars retro, Mars in Aries, where it's the breakdown, the Capricorn, of the ego, the dysfunctional ego of me, I must have. And when we transcend that and we go into a different paradigm, if you like, then all these really difficult aspects have got an immense possibility for transcendence.
Beautiful. Yes, absolutely beautiful. And I guess, you said it much better than I did. That's kind of where we're headed, that whether it's the planets that and signs that we know so well take on different levels of meaning, or whether we start to develop a galactic astrology, dare I say, or whether we start to investigate, other asteroids and planets that we haven't typically done with our astrology. It's something that's pushing us, that's so new and so out there in every sense, that we may have to start to incorporate. So the old astrology, gosh, dare I say this as an astrologer, it's almost the old astrology may be part of the old building. And I don't mean that in any negative way, because astrology, you and I love to bits, and we've done it for, all of our lives, and we love it to bits. So, but there's something that's evolutionary. There's something that's a quantum jump in the energy that's going to change the way we do it in some way.
Absolutely. I love this, Pammy. I love the way we spark each other here. So, just had a great idea from what you just said, is that the square that we've got pretty much all next year between Uranus and Saturn, Uranus is astrology.
Yes.
And the structure of astrology has to change. It has to evolve. It has to grow and break apart and grow into something for the new human. Absolutely. Humanity.
Yeah, fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. There's some kind of a quantum leap or a galactic leap, or us becoming galactic citizens to, heavens, as astrologers, we need to incorporate more of the galaxy in what we do, because we've stayed small. As I understand it, the Earth was actually offline for a long time. It wasn't so connected to the galaxy. It's now more connected, because the whole galaxy is part of this upgrade, when it isn't just the Earth upgrading, it's the whole galaxy upgrading. And if that's the case, if there's this greater sense of integration and evolution, and we're all in this together, not just us on Earth, but them out there too, then, then new information is going to come in, new information, new energy, new inspiration, new abilities for us. We're going to step onto another level of cognition or understanding, or I don't know, I'm not expressing this very well yet, but it's just a feeling that
I love it. We've got to go towards the unity consciousness.
Totally. It's moving from me to we.
And we've got to have structures in our world that are no longer profit oriented.
Totally.
The pharmaceutical industry, for one, drugs, profit. And that it is about unity, and how we need leaders who bring unity and structures.
Totally.
For the good of all.
Yeah, totally. And the whole concept of leadership may be very different, because we're going to be in much more of a collective, much more of a community that is that sense of the hive or global community in some way that will become stronger and stronger and stronger. And so our values, clearly are changing very rapidly. So yeah, it feels, I think the energy has shifted in this last week. It feels exciting rather than daunting.
Yes. I love this. Pammy, it's the first time I've heard you in months sounding excited.
Yes,
right? Well. In that, in the wider perspective of the astrology, it's like something's shifted.
I do feel there's been an energy shift, and yes, it's still very challenging on the 3D level. So if that's our focus, we're going to get grim. Focus on the chaos, we're going to get chaos. Focus on the fear, we're going to get fear. Focus on the anger, we're going to get anger. But if we can raise our eyes to something as yet invisible, bigger and more expansive and more exciting, in which we can truly be a creator a real creator in this new world that has not yet formed yet. It's jello, it's not a film set. It's, we are creating it in every thought with every moment. So if we can get a much better grip on that, it's almost like holding hands. We rise together as one, holding hands in this, because people, we still are 3D creatures despite our multidimensional nature. So, nobody's finding the demolition of the building easy. But if we can hold hands, not just digitally, but also in a spiritual connection, then we can change the world.
Woo, Pammy, I love this. Yeah. We've got to up our game in the astrology. That's why I'm going to write a book about astrology for the awakened souls. We have to have a different perspective.
Yes, we do. And I don't know what that is yet. Don't ask me, because I'm at base zero on that at the moment. You and I know the current astrology very well, but I feel that there's going to be information coming in that we can not only not fit within our current paradigm, because the current paradigm has got to expand so dramatically, but I feel the shifts are coming in quickly. And I think that, the next 2 months is going to be lickety split in terms of, my goodness, that building's going down quickly. But,
gosh.
but I'm just learning how to fly. I'm just learning how to fly. And so, those will cross, as it were. I don't know, I'm just making this up as I go along, but this is my feeling that I'm not expressing terribly clearly, but it's my feeling that we are in a very fast movement now, and we're getting help. We're getting benevolent galactic help towards something that is unimaginably better than anything we've possibly experienced.
Yes. I mean, I think we can create paradise here on Earth.
Yes. And I mean, 5D already exists. Some people are already living in it. It isn't a different place. It's a different frequency. They're already living in bliss in every moment. That's available for all of us in every moment.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Oh, I love this. I love this, Pammy. No, it's great. And the more I'm thinking about, the fact is that Uranus is about flying. Yeah.
Yes, aviation.
Saturn is about the structure and bringing us down to Earth. So what are we bringing in from outside? Because electricity ruled by Uranus, invisible, but it's there. The waves, the Aquarian energy that's coming in, the waves.
Absolutely.
I mean,
and I think there's going to be a very big shift from electricity to magnetics, because for me, Uranus rules magnetics as well. And magnetics are very life-supporting, life-enhancing. They're very beneficial for the Earth. And Uranus is in Taurus, the Earth, and Taurus, physical bodies. So this shift towards magnetics, and I think we're going to see this in many, many forms, whether it's magnetic forms of power, you're going back to Tesla and free energy and all that, or magnetic ways that we can enhance our health. And I think there are going to be many, many ways that's going to express. That's a whole new episode in terms of how we power the Earth and ourselves. So, I think there's a lot to come. And I think, that kind of technology is going to go, again, at a phenomenal pace. I mean, much of it is already developed, but not yet publicly available.
Yes. And I think what our message should be, maybe, is don't get too caught up in the messiness of what's going on. Don't have your head in the toilet. Right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that phrase comes to mind. Yes, absolutely. It's all about where your focus is.
So don't keep your head in the toilet. Yeah, you might want to look for a moment and then flush it. Okay? That's really the message here. And it's a bit like not looking at the rubble and looking at all the things that we've lost or are losing, but looking at, hey, what is it we want to build, and what kind of new information can we bring in, draw to us from a higher source, a higher being, a higher energy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And think of yourself not as a victim of these horrendous circumstances we're living through at the moment, but think of yourself as a creator. Blank sheet of paper. What are you going to create? If you were going to create paradise, what would it look like? What would your relationship with nature be like? Your relationship with other people, your relationship with animals, your relationship with the rest of the galaxy, your relationship with source and spirit. Because that is going to be our focus. Those are going to be our values, not the kind of structures and constrictions that we've had up to now, which are getting tighter in every moment, but that's part of the crescendo.
That's part of what's making it so uncomfortable that we can't stay in the rubble of the buildings falling around us, right? You're going to get hit by pieces of stone and you're going to be splattered.
Yeah.
So, we have to maneuver our way so that we, as you say, I love what you said, that beautiful, Pam. Yeah, very well. No, really, very, very well put. And it's the speed, it's the velocity.
Yes.
Which is why we need one another, these transmissions, these talks, these inspirations. I always feel uplifted when I speak with you, Pam, one way or another. Yeah, we've been through a few things together, but we do that, and that's what we are here to do on a wider scale, is so that each one of us lifts others, so that you are pulling one another out of the buildings that are falling, helping one another not to be in the debris, and showing that we're creating something different.
Yeah, we are all in this together. We are all helping each other together. We've all got a different role to play. And just imagine, we are all holding hands, metaphorically, digitally, spiritually, emotionally. We are all, living through this rubble, and we are all in this together. And the more we can get that sense of not being alone, especially in lockdown, but being together with everybody, then we can really develop a sense of momentum to create something amazing.
Yeah. And I think through the technology, we're going to be given many more gifts. Yeah. Many more gifts are coming in that we're going to, because you remember, Taurus rules your talents and your gifts.
Yes, absolutely. And inspiration, and your super conscious, and your super nature, and all these new talents that are going to come in that we can't even imagine at this time.
But just to be open and to know that the way to it is through our connection with one another.
Yeah.
Positive, kind, loving connection with one another. And if it ain't nice, don't say it.
Yes, totally. Because, division and polarity will only delay a better world. Yeah. It will only delay. We need to have a sense of expansion and connection, not constriction and division.
Exactly. And I think that's what's going to be torn apart during this coming year. And I think we've got many wonderful opportunities coming up this year. Would you agree, Pam?
Yes, totally. Yeah. And again, I can't yet put a finger on it. It's just something I'm sensing in the ether. But yes, I do. And we've just got to hold our faith into the invisible. We've got to hold our faith, our spiritual connection, keep our spiritual practice going, whatever that is, candlegate, being in nature. I mean, go hug a tree, have that deep sense of connection. And that's really what helps me a lot, being in nature. I go mad without nature. So it can be that simple.
Yeah, it can be very, very easy. And most important is that we connect with one another.
Yeah.
The technology is giving us the ability to be globally 24/7 connected, and for nobody ever to feel lonely ever again.
Yeah. It's so important. Moving from me to we, and just keep that as your mantra.
And that's what we have to move towards, because if we don't do that, I think we're just going to extinguish ourselves from the planet.
Yes, and I think we're going to be partly forced into it on the 3D level, because if things, do get tough in more lockdowns, etc., many parts of the UK and the North and Midlands are locked down, people are getting to know their neighbours that they haven't got to know in many years. They're swapping skills or swapping vegetables, or that, there's almost a network building, like a spider's web.
Yes.
Of local connections that are going to sustain you, especially in winter months in the Northern Hemisphere, if things get tough. So even in local communities, I mean, they may be people who are very different from you. It doesn't matter. We're all human beings with the same needs at the end of the day.
Exactly.
You know, so
yeah.
and this develops heart energy, doesn't it? This develops your compassion, your heart energy, and that sense of this sense of sharing that I will give to you as if you were me. That sense of sharing.
Yes. Beautiful. Really, you're putting it really very eloquently and clearly. Yeah, because I think that the more of us that really just get this, the easier this transition can be. This transition, we can either make it really, really, really long and drawn out.
Yeah, we can.
Transit, we can get on the fast transit.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the last video, I was talking about, if you're going from London to Edinburgh, you can fly a 1 hour effortless flight, and that's the fast track, or you can walk. That would take you about a month with a lot of effort. We're all going to get to the same destination, but the speed at which, I believe, the speed at which we do that, it depends on our level of collective consciousness. That's what
and the level of our connectivity, and how willing we are to see that whether you like them or hate them, we're all connected.
Yeah, we are. We're all human beings, at the end of the day. So yeah, working on that heart energy. I mean, as you and I know, Aquarius energy is very mind-based.
Yes.
It's very intellectual. It's very mind-based. So we've got to live from our hearts to create the balance to that, whatever the astrology is saying.
Yes, absolutely. But then there's always the opposites. We're always in Aquarius. We're always working with the Leo energy. We've got to keep developing the heart Leo energy so that the heart and mind are balanced.
Yeah, totally.
That's what we're working with. Oh, Pammy, it's just such a joy always to be with you. And just want to thank you for making my birthday a special birthday today. Thank you. And I'm sure we'll talk again soon, but thanks for the inspiration.
Oh, well, not at all. That's obviously what the remains of my breakfast porridge and a glass of red wine do for me. After a testing week, but anyway, still standing.
All right, no, I just have to laugh here because most of you really think Pam is awfully posh and all this, you have no idea. It's very funny, that I can tell you.
It's just been one of those weeks. Anyway, we're all still here, helping each other.
All right, we're going now.
Okay, much love, everybody. Much love.
To you all. Bye for now.